Welcome everyone, BETT Day 2, back on the Lenovo booth. My name is Sean Langley, Smart Collaboration Technologist. Once again, I've got another very special guest and I'm delighted to be joined by somebody else from Shape Robotics. Welcome, please introduce yourself, say hello to all the listeners and viewers out there. Great to have you here.
Thank you very much for having me here. I'm Moises Pacheco, CTO and co-founder of Shape Robotics. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much for having us. BETT show, I take it you've been before?
Yes, I've been here a couple of times, getting close to the 10th time.
Wow.
So I look forward to it.
You're a veteran of the BETT show then. I think this is probably my 4th show so far, but there's always something new to learn about and see every year we come in. The Lenovo stand is always growing, there's always new technology on here, and it's an exciting place to be, for 3 days in London at the start of the year every year. So, before we jump in, obviously talking about the solution why you're here today, what's your background, what's your history, how did you get to where you're at Shape Robotics?
Yeah, so I have an engineering background. So I started my studies back in Mexico. I'm Mexican. So I've always been in love with technology and robotics. And education has always been a passion of mine. And then I started to work with, I got the opportunity to work a little bit more in education when I moved to Denmark. Mm-hmm. We had an opportunity there to develop a new product, and we were working in collaboration with Lego and the Lego Mindstorm team.
Yes, of course.
So that was an amazing opportunity.
Yeah.
As soon as I heard about it, I said yes, I'm in. I started to work on my thesis back then. And this is where I started to get to know a lot of the big names in the research field when it comes to education. I got the pleasure to meet Mitch Resnick from the MIT Media Lab, the professor behind Scratch programming, and many other amazing researchers.
So you got some very good contacts then. You made some very good contacts back then. And what did that set you out on your path then? And how did you get to the solution you've created for Shape Robotics?
So one of the things is, back when I was working in robotics, the focus was a lot on the technology. And I come from the background of modular robotics. Mm-hmm. So one of the biggest issues or challenges in modular robotics is the reconfiguration. So if you imagine a transformer, so made out of very, very tiny cells. So in a magic robot would be a modular robot that you can reconfigure to whatever you need. And applications for this could be, let's say that you send a robot, the Mars rover, and it has to reconfigure itself to enter a cave that it cannot enter otherwise, right?
It can adapt to any environment.
Exactly. So you can adapt to any environment. But the thing here is that it's a problem that is very difficult to solve because possibilities are infinite. And this is one of the challenges that the community faced and where the development started to slow down a bit. Mm-hmm. So what we did was, knowing the challenges that are being faced also within education, we said, well, we have a really amazing use case here because we have a challenge that technology cannot solve, but humans can solve. And humans can learn through the process of building. Because the reality is that as much as we would like to think that knowledge enters through reading and books and conversations, it enters through the body itself.
There's a practical element to it, isn't it?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
For thousands of years, we've always built and learned through building on there. Absolutely. Yeah.
It's just and a good example of this is when you want to learn how to cook, how do you learn? Do you read a book or do you just go and cook?
Jump right in and give it a go.
You have to jump right in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And this is the approach that we took with our solution. So we ended up developing a robot that is called Fable, mm-hmm. The Fable system. And the key about Fable is that it's one of the few solutions that is actually developed with education in mind. Mm-hmm. So what do I mean by this? A lot of the products that we see out there, and this is just how the products have evolved. So I'm sure that they will adapt later on, not to speak poorly of any of the solutions that are out there. But the thing is that many of the projects, they started in consumer, mm-hmm. in the consumer realm. So what happens that there are some, let's say that the connections are mainly done through Bluetooth. And when we were developing our platform, we understood that there was a friction in the classroom because teachers, when they bring in iPads, and devices that auto-pair,
Yep.
which is nice for the consumer.
Yep.
But if you have a classroom with 30 kids, 30 iPads, and 30
There's a
robots
lot of
that
wireless activity going on. Yeah, I can
then
imagine.
the levels of stress, they
Yeah.
tend to go up. So what we ended up doing was a unique solution where you color pair things. So we have a system where you plug in a hub. There is this very tiny device. It will shine in a given color, and then you have 6 colors that you can choose from. So you have yellow, red, green, blue, etc.
Yep.
And then if you turn on your robot and it's in the same color channel, then they're automatically paired.
I get it. So they're all using different channels, so they don't interact with each other
Exactly.
directly. Yeah. Okay.
And the cool thing about this is that you can outsource the setup to the kids.
Yeah.
So you can just say, you guys are the red team, you guys are the blue team, and the kids, like from 3rd grade on, they can understand this and they can set it up themselves.
Fascinating. Oh, that's really interesting. So, with the rub, can you tell us a bit on like how typical how the solution works, and what they would do with the robots on a typical learning example for those like watching and listening to the podcast that might not be familiar. And of course, check out shaperobotics.com to find out even more about the STEAM labs and mobile solutions.
Yes, so what we have within Fable, the unique thing about Fable is that it can adapt to any needs that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Usually what we try to preach is that problem-based learning. So you have a setup. A good example of this is we did a test in a school in Denmark. They had a week where they can do like an innovation week. So this was in middle school. So they took a group of kids and they took them to a nursery. So they learned about the problems that the elderly had, right? So simple things like I dropped the remote control, I cannot pick it up. And then by the time that the nurse can help me, the football game is done. I cannot, people that couldn't feed themselves because they had Parkinson's, things like this. So then the kids, they went back into the classroom, and the teachers, they started to brainstorm solutions together with them. What is it that you can do? They use the Fable system, and the unique thing about the Fable system is that you can build thousands of different types of robots. So imagine Lego Mindstorms,
Yeah.
but instead of spending 4 hours building, you spend less than a minute.
Wow.
And this empowers kids, because when you build with systems that are the granularity is very fine, so you can build a lot of amazing things, because with Lego you can build
Anything. Sky's the limit.
Yeah, the sky's the limit.
I remember those days. I loved Lego when I was younger.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Me too.
Loved it.
So the thing here is that you can build whatever you want, but there's a price, and the price is time and knowledge of the system, the ability to build this. And this is where you lose most of the people, because when it takes you a lot of time, a lot of effort to build something, you know that you can improve it, but you're not that willing to.
Yeah.
Because we say, maybe I'll break it down. I don't know. Let's leave. We both agree, but let's leave the project as it is. And with our solution, people just like mix, change, iterate, and go and test again. And with this setup, within a week, like by the end of the week, we had the elderly come and visit the school, test the solutions, and give feedback to kids.
Yeah.
And the amazing thing about this is that we could see in kids' faces how they change. They knew that they could change someone's life.
Totally inspired by that. I can imagine that must be so inspiring, because, and like you said, the small amount of time it takes them to create an innovative solution, and that's just going to inspire more thoughts and just kind of, that kind of continuation. They'll just be like, oh wow, maybe I could do this, maybe I could do that. It's a fascinating solution, yeah.
Because what we want at Shape Robotics is to make sure that we can bring kids into a state of flow. When you're in a state of flow, you become very creative, you're in tune.
Right, yeah.
And then amazing things happen, right? And this is what we've seen. So back then, what happened was that at the end of this session this week, there were 3 teams, I believe there was 3 or 4, that decided to take their idea into a national competition. There was this innovation competition. So they took it to the competition, and one of them ended up winning the competition, and the remainder, they ended up in the finals.
Wow.
So it was amazing.
That's proof that we needed that it's an amazing solution, isn't it, for something like that? The kids must have loved every minute of that. I certainly would. If I was a school child doing something like that, I would have such a great time doing it.
And the beauty of this is that it's very inclusive.
Yeah.
Because we have the Fable Face app that allows also girls and boys to build social robots, which is not the norm now. And the thing is that most of the robots that will be built by society have to interact with us.
Yeah.
So the social aspect is a very important thing.
Wow, that's impressive. So tell me about obviously we're at the Lenovo booth, tell me about the Lenovo relationship and some of the technology you're using in the solution, and why Lenovo, if I may? Why was it the right fit for your solution?
So right now we have a collaboration with Lenovo. So we're building a product together. This is the Lenovo Thinken.
Absolutely.
Product that we have that we're showcasing here. And the innovation here is to how is it that we can make things even simpler? So right now, in the beginning when we started to push for the Smart Lab project in Romania, the implementation takes a lot of effort. Sometimes schools don't have the area to be able to install a STEAM lab or a Smart Lab solution.
Yeah, like a permanent installation.
Yeah, like a permanent
it's not always
installation.
practical, is it? For
Exactly,
right.
and I think that it's not the norm anymore. Back in the day, it was easier to have like more area for a chemistry lab or things like that. And nowadays, things change so fast that it's real estate is not the one that is changing, right? So this is a scarce resource, and then it's very difficult to be able to adapt to it.
Sure.
So this is why we came with a solution together with Lenovo on having a STEAM lab that will be mobile.
Yep.
And this is what we call Thinken.
Yep.
So the beauty of this is that Lenovo has a wide range of products that are state of the art and that can help us deliver the experience that customers need.
Absolutely.
For remote teaching, to have conferences, to be able to add our app into the screens and deliver the experience that we need to deliver with the Lenovo devices, with the ThinkPads.
So does it have you have classrooms would link up together? Let's say they're 4 classrooms are using one of the mobile solutions. Would they link up together and work on the same projects sometimes? How does that collaboration work sometimes?
That is the goal. The collaboration is not there now, but that is the goal.
That's what you're moving
towards. The technology that we have in there, it's a possibility.
Excellent, really interesting. Good. So in terms of the software that's behind it, so you mentioned Fable, and Fable is the underlying software platform on there.
The software platform we call Fable Blockly.
Fable Blockly, yeah, beg your pardon.
Yes, so we have Fable Blockly, which is the app that you will use to program the Fable robot.
Yeah, that's like your building tools, if you like, the software building tools for the hardware robots.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then we have the Fable Face app. So the Fable Face app you can download on your phone. It's supported in iOS and Android. And then we also have EDDI, which is a new product that we're working on. And EDDI will help us make this process even simpler.
Interesting.
How is it that, because one of the questions that we have, now that we're growing and we're doing a lot of great things together with Lenovo, we're installing close to 1,000 labs in Romania.
Wow.
So how is it that we can get all teachers onboarded as quickly as possible?
Yeah.
And this is one of the biggest challenges that governments across the world have. And we're here to offer a solution to that.
So is that in terms of, because obviously there might be some training required on there, and is this where EDDI comes in to kind of make it more intuitive and streamline the train or whatever training is necessary for teachers to be able to start teaching with the solution?
Yes, exactly. So one of the biggest things in tech is having all of these nice features, but the most challenging thing is to make the public aware of them and how to use them.
Get the most out of them,
Get the most of them.
You've got everything, but what do you do with it?
Exactly. And this is where we're here to help. So the idea behind EDDI is that we will have different personas behind the AI. So within the solution, you can, let's say that if you're an IT support employee, or if you're a teacher, you're setting up the classroom and you have a question about like an MTR solution or a Lenovo ThinkPad, then you can just directly ask the chatbot and it will be able to reply. It will have access to all of the knowledge base from Lenovo and from us to be able to give the best support that the teacher needs.
Real-time AI support.
Yes, exactly.
I like
so
that.
It's real time. And we're also experimenting with solutions where you can, if you're busy or you don't have access to a laptop or you cannot type, it can also be done through a voice call.
Yeah. Oh.
And make sure that you have the best experience possible. Then another thing that we're working with ETT is to help teachers develop educational content for their needs. So we're moving towards, one-off like educational content to tailor-made.
Mm-hmm.
So, and how is it that that a teacher can adapt the knowledge that they have now in a couple of minutes, integrate with platforms, let's say like Google Classroom or other solutions that are out there, to make sure that within a couple of seconds you can just type in, this is the topic that I would like to teach, this is the equipment that I have available, because also within the thinking, there will be different modalities, right? So do you have like this version of a ThinkPad? Do you have like this many robots, etc.? So you can specify what you have or what you would like to use,
Yep.
including 3D printers and so on. And then ETT will help you develop the glossary, introduction, activities, everything. And you can just say, I would like to integrate this into Google Classroom, and then send the notifications to all of the kids. Also with reminders in the calendar bookings, whether you need to bring your Chromebook or some materials, or make sure that you make the homework. Or
Reminders are very important for kids, yeah, as we know. 10 reminders a day. Make sure you do this, do that. But,
exactly.
wow, that's an incredibly powerful and flexible solution now, and just keep growing and growing. And so you mentioned that the rollout has started in Romania now, and is that in other countries in Eastern Europe, and obviously moving west, going further? What's the plan on the kind of the next steps on how it's moving forward?
So right now we're working with Romania and also the Republic of Moldova.
Mm-hmm.
And we will begin to move a bit more in Poland.
Excellent.
So we just closed an acquisition in Poland of Skriware, and within the next year we will begin to work also with Lenovo on how is it that we can expand these great ideas into Poland.
Because from hearing what you've been telling me about today, and certainly my conversation with Mark yesterday, solutions like this should be in every school across the world, because it absolutely makes sense. It's the way modern learning is developing in that sense, and children, as we know, they think about things we don't sometimes, and you give them the right tools to do this kind of thing. The idea is you'd be like, wow, where did you come up with that idea? It's incredible.
And at the end of the day, whatever we develop, it won't be used by us anymore, right? Our generation.
That's right.
We're building for them.
Yeah.
And then it's better to include them in the loop.
Excellent. I get asked a lot, I'm being a technologist, what's to come in the future? And it's always a difficult question to ask without going into too many specifics, because of course at Lenovo we have lots of things going on all the time, and we're looking ahead 3-4 years. Are you able to give us just a rough indication of what's next for Shape Robotics, and perhaps what would you like to see from Lenovo perhaps in the future that could assist that? Difficult question, I know, but sorry, I have to ask. I'm interested myself, of course.
And don't get me wrong, I would love to share everything, all of the details.
We can't make everyone sign an NDA though, unfortunately, so
But we are working on a state-of-the-art Fable application.
Mm-hmm.
So I can state that once we launch this new version of Fable Blockly, it will be a version that will set the standard. The version that we're running on now, we basically developed it, the concept was done 10 years ago, wow. 10, 11 years ago. Mm-hmm. And now we think that it's time to push the boundaries again.
Yep.
So this is something that will come soon, and we will do some gradual rollouts, and we'll keep you posted on the releases once we're there. And then another thing is that we're also doing a lot of research now and investment into hardware.
Mm-hmm.
So now that our customers are used to the bundles that we're delivering, then we need to make sure that we can expand on this. And this is the beauty of having a modular platform, that all of the modules that you buy and everything that you add is compatible.
Yep.
So we will make more of a move towards IoT.
Yep.
And we will have more modules that will help you interact with the environment.
Yeah, of course, very important. So future-proofing essentially, and you can easily upgrade and just change things. And of course, there's different generation products come out from the Lenovo catalog. Makes it an easy upgrade that way.
Exactly.
Really interesting. Well, unfortunately, we're out of time. I could carry on talking about this for a long, long time, but we only have so long to do the podcast today. So, Moises, thank you so much for coming. It's been a pleasure having you here and great talking to you. I really appreciate it. If you could just tell everyone listening, viewing, how can they get in touch, learn out more, websites, any kind of information about Shape, please let them know.
Sure, please visit us at shaperobotics.com. Stay posted with Lenovo and the Shape Robotics partnership with Thinkin'. And yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thanks again for having you. It's been a pleasure. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. It's been an excellent session. We've been delighted to have 2 days, two of the top people at Shape Robotics here. Of course, if you enjoyed this content, share it, subscribe, comment down below, make some noise about Shape Robotics and Lenovo partnership. Thanks very much for listening, everyone. See you again.